Hi there, it's Sarah Jane from Cards and a Cuppa, and I'm here to share with you how to make this cute shaker card using the new beautiful ride stamp set by Stampin Up. Now this set doesn't come with dies, so you have to work it a little bit differently, so that's what this tutorial is going to show you. So here's the stamp set. It's got loads of great sentiments in it, and I think this one says Love Bug, which would make a great Valentine's card, but I thought I'll make this next card a wedding card. So I'm going to team the stamp set with the Love Blossoms Designer Series paper stack, which again is full of pinks and crumb cake pattern papers and is lovely. I've chosen 2 heart patterns and I'm going to make the same, more or less the same layout as this card here. So this is 13.5 centimeters square, this light pink layer, and this bottom layer is 14.8 centimeters square, which is the standard size, or the largest size square card you can get from a piece of A4 card. So if you're working in inches, then this is just a little bit over 5 1/4, but I think your card in the US is a bit smaller, so you might have to make that a bit smaller. So right, let me share with you what I did. So what you're going to need is the stamp set, stays on, some sequins, foam pads, and a piece of acetate. Now the first thing you want to stamp is your acetate. Okay, so you're going to need stays on with your car stamp, and you need to ink it up quite well so that you get a good black image from the stamp. If you clean your photopolymer stamp straight away, it should be okay. It will stain it though, so be warned. Pop it off. Careful not to smudge it when you stamp down, because it will slip on the acetate. Let's just grab going to pop a little bit of stays on cleaner on just quickly. I'm not going to leave it on there for very long, and then it won't damage the stamp and it will get much more of the ink off. So we're just going to pop that to one side and leave it to dry. Okay, so to stamp on the paper, I'm just going to use archival ink because it doesn't stain as badly as stays on. So now you're going to need a craft knife, and if you've got it, you're going to need a cutting mat. If you haven't got a cutting mat, just get an old or a new grid paper sheet and fold it over 3 or 4 times and place your car image on top of that. Then get an old chopping board underneath, or a surface you don't mind if it goes through the paper. You'll probably be okay, but you know, I don't hate for you to ruin your best tabletop. Now you also need a nice sharp blade in your cutter. That's quite important, otherwise it's very difficult to get a good image. So treat yourself to a new blade, and then just go round and cut on the lines. So if you're extra careful when you cut out your car image, you'll also have a spare car image that you'll be able to use for a different card. So this is 2 cards for the price of 1. So this colour is, this paper is Blushing Bride. So I'm going to use some Blushing Bride ink, and I'm going to just sponge around the edges just to make it pop a little bit when it's all put together. Just show you the original. That's done with crumb cake ink to match the paper. And then I sort of did a tail behind it as if it was moving along, and then just inked around the outside edges. You continue now with this card, and you just assemble as you would a normal shaker card. So add tape around the outside edge. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to this sort of area here, because then it sticks up and it tends to get stick out because it's such a tiny little piece on its own. So I just popped a little bit of glue. That's fine tip glue pen I used for that. Just pop a little bit of glue on there so that it sticks that little bit to the acetate. And I wiped off the excess so that it didn't squidge out around the edge. Okay, so take your stamped acetate and then lay your paper over the top. Adding on your glued piece as well. And there's the start of your shaker card. So we're going to add a double layer of foam pads all around the outside edge of the card. Now at this stage you need to make sure these join up so that none of the sequins can escape. Got another piece of paper. Actually I've used the same that I used on this card because I thought it went quite well with the pattern on the front. So you're going to just remove the backing. So just pop your paper over the shaker pocket, and there it is. So to finish this off, you're just going to fill in around the edges, and remember you need a double layer so that it's the same height as the shaker pocket. So you have to add a double layer of foam pads. going to ink the edge of this square. I'm going to just use Blushing Bride again because it's just a case of defining the edges, because it's exactly the same size as the card base that it's going on. Okay, so this is just a thick white card base, which is cut down the long side of A4 at 14.8 and score at 14.8, and then I'm just going to glue this paper to the card front directly. And that's the card. So I'm just going to add a couple of little banners in the top corner. I've got a 1.5 centimetre banner, and this is black archival ink. I'm just going to stamp it on this strip of matching paper. Finish with a few sequins to match. Now I prefer to use Crystal Effects for my sequins, but fine tip glue pen would work too, so whichever you've got, whichever you prefer. And so there we have 2 shaker cards made using Stampin' Up's Beautiful Ride and no dies. So I hope you have a go at making a shaker card, and if you do, don't forget to share it with me, and if you've liked this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching today.